she posted this picture of her plate. My phone fell. Hope it's not cracked. Crack is whack. All right, moment of truth. We're gonna find out together. Woo! Hi honeys, it's Emmy. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Emmy and I am a nutritionist and the creator of the Slim on Starch program, where my clients lose anywhere from the last few pounds to we have people that are at up to 70 pounds and counting. So if you want to work with me so that we can work closely to get you to your weight loss goals, go ahead and click the link in the down bar or just go to healthyemmy.org. Also make sure that you hit subscribe and turn notifications on so that you can be a healthy honey and be notified every time I'm uploading a video about plant-based weight loss. So if you clicked on this video, it's probably because you find yourself thinking about food all the time. And you are probably just done with it. And you're saying to yourself, why can't I stop thinking about food? Every second of every day. I'm at work, but I'm thinking about food. I'm with my kids, but I'm thinking about food. I'm with my friends, but I'm thinking about my food. My significant other, it's what am I gonna have next? How much am I gonna have? Should I have this? Should I have that? How many minutes until my next meal? You're eating one meal and you're thinking about the next. If this sounds familiar, you are in the right place. You are on the right video, because today I'm gonna be explaining to you why this is happening and how we can make it stop. So whenever I get on the phone with somebody who's gonna join the Slim on Starch program and I hear about this, because it is so common, so know that first and foremost that you're not alone if you're feeling this way. But something that they say is, Emmy, I'm afraid that it's gonna be like this forever. It's been like this for so long and I don't know how to stop thinking about food. The thoughts just come and I can't make them go away. And if this is you, I wanna give you some hope. In my next video, I'm gonna be interviewing my client, Autumn. And I just wanna give you a little sneak preview of our interview where she talks about how this used to be her reality and it's not her reality anymore. So let's get a little sneak preview of that. Actually, in your check-in the other day, you said something that I honestly just want to like rip it off and just say what it was, which was Autumn was you were on vacation and you'd been a little bit like you hadn't been as involved in the program. Autumn did Slim on Starch and now she's in the master's program. And you said, do you want to say what it is that you said? Because we haven't really heard from you. Go for it.
I hadn't been keeping up with my journal entries and my food diary. And in my check-in, I just said, hey guys, don't worry. I want you to know that I'm not keeping up, not because I'm not on the program. I'm still on the program. I'm not keeping up because I'm living my life. I am finally free from thinking about what I'm eating all the time and how much calories these are and what is, everything was natural and flowing. And finally I was able to just like put it on autopilot and focus on the other things in my life, my family, my career, the way I feel, my style, all of that. So I just was like, don't worry about my missed entries because it's a good thing.
So get excited for that interview and know that there is hope. There is another side. Even if you're sitting there and thinking, yeah, that's great for them. That's awesome for Autumn. I'm so happy for her. It's so great that Emmy lives this way, but this just isn't gonna be me. If you're on this video, that shows me that you are dedicated and you are determined to make yourself the best version of yourself where you're not thinking about food all the time. You wouldn't be on this video if you didn't have a will. And if there's a will, there is 1,000 ways. So let's talk about why this is happening. Why is it that you cannot stop thinking about food? Well, there's two reasons. And the first reason has to do with our primal brain. So our brains really haven't changed much in the past 100,000 years, which is just crazy, but it's true. We have the brains that we had when we were cavemen and cavewomen. And for that reason, we are conditioned to believe that a famine could strike at any time. Remember, a famine is when there is no food. We used to live in a place of food scarcity. Now, today, that's not the case at all. But whenever we get hungry, our primal brain triggers, our lizard brain, if you will, and it says, oh my goodness, there's a famine coming. It's like the big red button, you know, the brain hits the big red button whenever you get hungry and it says, oh, there's a famine, there's a famine, there's a famine. So a survival mechanism that we have in place is that when we get hungry, we fixate on food because food is essential to our survival. And if we don't eat food, we're gonna die. And if we get the inkling that there might be a famine coming, then we better find some food and we better find it fast. Now, this was great in the olden days, way back when there actually were famines, but in the year 2020, I don't see any famines coming anytime soon. And we don't live in a place of food scarcity. We live in a place of a food overabundance. We have more food than we could ever deal with. And for that reason, this puts us in a really, really tough spot when we're trying to lose weight and when we're trying to get healthy. Because most diets are gonna have you eat very small portions of food and restrict your calories and eat a lot less than you were eating before. That's what pretty much every diet is gonna have you do, is have you eat smaller amounts of food. And for that reason, you're gonna be hungry. If your stomach isn't filled up, if you're not feeling full and nourished, you're gonna be hungry. And what do we just learn happens when you get hungry? When you get hungry, the primal brain says, oh my goodness, there is a famine. So you go on the diet, you eat less calories, and then the primal brain says, whoa, 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 code red, famine. What does this translate to? You thinking about food all the time. So how do we combat this? I'm going to talk about that, but first I want to talk about the second reason why you're probably thinking about food all the time. And the reason for that is that you've probably embarked on a weight loss journey or on a health journey, and you are now focusing on food. Whereas before, food wasn't really a focus of yours, and now food is the main focus because you've decided, I'm gonna go on this diet, I'm gonna go on this health journey, I'm gonna lose weight. So does that mean that when we go on a diet, when we wanna lose weight, that we have to be thinking about food all the time? No, but that's what society honestly teaches us. It teaches us that, oh, you're gonna lose weight, you gotta be on that grind, you gotta think about your food, you gotta plan out your food. It's gonna be another thing on your plate. You're gonna take on this weight loss journey and you're gonna crush it. And while I love the motivation that goes behind it, and I love sort of the inertia that you get from it, what I don't love is that it takes over your life. And you are embarking on this journey to improve the quality of your life, but instead it's actually taking over your life and you're not able to access the parts of your life that you are trying to access as a healthy person. You know, what's the point of losing weight if you're not going to go out and live your life as your healthiest self? And so that's where the disconnect is that we're taught that weight loss is this grind that you have to be on, and for that reason we trick ourselves into thinking about food all the time. Once you embark on your health and weight loss journey, now food is a thing. It's a thing that you have to think about, and now you're thinking about it all the time. But like I said, it doesn't have to be this way. And it doesn't have to be the case that you're hungry all the time and thinking about food. So to recap why it is that this is happening, the first is that your primal brain is just going berserk and it thinks that there's a famine because you're hungry. The second reason is that now that you've decided to embark on this weight loss journey, you've tricked your brain into thinking that it has to think about food all the time because of the societal norm that when you're on a diet, it is your main focus, you are on that grind. And then once you lose the weight and you're off the diet, you don't have to think about food anymore. But neither of those things have to be our reality. So now I'm going to tell you how to get it to the point where you are not thinking about food all the time. 2 things we got to do, honeys. The first thing is commit to a whole foods plant-based diet. We talked about reason number 1 why you're experiencing this, and the reason is that your stomach was sort of empty. And if your stomach is not filled up, we have stretch receptors that are on our stomach, and we have to satisfy those stretch receptors. We have to actually have food in our stomach in order to send the signal to our brain that, yeah, there's food here, you've eaten enough, you're good to go. When you eat a whole foods plant-based diet, it's naturally lower in calories, which means you can eat more food and you never have to go hungry and you can still lose weight. It can be totally easy to lose weight while still being full. So you satisfy that primal need to know that you're being nourished and to know that there's food in your stomach, but you're still able to lose weight because you're just naturally eating less calories. Most diets are gonna have you eat really small portions of foods that are higher in calories, and so your stomach is not gonna be full. But when you're eating a whole foods plant-based diet, the food is so low in calories that you can eat a good amount of it. You're gonna feel nice and full, and once you feel nice and full, you're not gonna be thinking about food all the time. When you eat this diet, you can truly pile your plate high. I want to show you what Autumn, who I just showed you in the interview, what she posted in our Facebook group, in our private Facebook group for the program only. It's a secret Facebook group, actually. But she posted this picture of her plate. My phone fell. Hope it's not cracked. Crack is whack. All right, moment of truth. We're gonna find out together. I don't think it's cracked. Yahoo! Let's try that again. Look at this picture of Autumn's food and look at what she said. She said stacked high. You really can eat a pretty good amount of food and still lose weight. And remember, as you'll see in the interview, Autumn got to the point where she said, Emmy, I need to stop losing weight. How do I make this stop? And if you're wondering what actually goes into a whole foods plant-based diet, in the down bar, I have my grocery list. So if you want my grocery list, I have it in the down bar for you. Just click it and you can have it. The second thing that I want you to do is to stop working against yourself and start working with yourself. When we work against ourselves, two opposing forces, if two things are pushing against one another, if you're saying stop eating, don't get hungry, don't eat this, don't eat that, and then you are pushing against it with I'm hungry, I want to eat this, I want to eat that, you're not going to go anywhere. But when you turn around and you start working with yourself, that is how you move yourself forward. So I want you to embrace your hunger. Hunger is a beautiful thing. It's what keeps us alive, and it's what teaches us how much food we should eat. In the Slim on Starch program, we teach you how to relearn your hunger and fullness signals, and we teach you the hunger and fullness scale so that you can embrace your hunger and use it to guide you to eat the perfect amount of food. If we didn't have hunger, we wouldn't know how much food to eat. And if you find yourself binge eating, something that I want you to remind yourself of, or perhaps learn, because maybe you haven't thought of this before, is if you don't eat when you're hungry, you're not going to stop when you're full. So you have to embrace your hunger so that you prevent yourself from overeating, prevent yourself from binge eating, and eat your way to health. If you want to eat your way to health, if you want to eat yourself skinny, then go ahead to healthyemmy.org and you can apply to work with me as your go-to gal. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Woo!